kind of a technology hobbyist. So, I have opinions about like cryptocurrency and stuff, but overall, I like to develop some good content. But the thing is that sometimes it never ever gets released because you always think of like, oh wow, it needs to be better, it needs to be better. So what I'm gonna do is it's kind of ramble on today about certain stuff, but to try to get a good focus on whatever else and just put something else out. And then you guys can see who I am and whatever else, see if I'm full of crap or whatever else. But overall is this. I like cryptocurrency because of this. I have started a long time ago to be part of the internet. You kind of had to have like a modem or whatever else, and you buy this modem and you call up your neighbor or neighboring town of somebody else that you had this chart of phone numbers, and you'd call them up, and then some of these, I'd say, more other geeky type people, they'd have numbers for other ones, and they'd call them up, and they'd have like email kind of exchange type deal, like these news groups and stuff like that, and you'd get these forums, and you'd have some kind of like depth to that BBS, or known as a bulletin board system. Then later on, with the modem, you're like somebody comes into town with internet service, and you're like, oh sweet, cool, and like this. And I was only using like a 2400 baud modem, to get internet. So it'd just be a black and white VT 100 terminal type thing, and it actually was pretty dang quick to use links, and that was the browser that you'd use on a Linux box or Unix actually at the time. I think they're using BDS, free BDS or something. But the idea was is that I'm kind of like this technological guy going, oh wow, cool. What can I use my computer for if it's just sitting around idle? And this is the thing where the SETI Home project I have here is here. And the SETI Home is basically looking for satellites with looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. So SETI. And you'd use this program in the back, and the program in the back would be using an algorithm or a set. Here's the chunk of uh, here's the chunk that we want you to work on, and your computer would compute that little chunk for the whole little graph right here, and you'd have a little plot, and boom, and you'd be part of that plot. It'd take a while, and but about at 2004 here, they had a pretty good plot, and they had a good idea that we've scanned the universe and we don't need the stuff. So the idea was like, oh well, what am I going to use my computer for if this isn't the thing? Isn't there anything else? And yes, you can still use the back end. I think it's called Bionic, um, and you can still uh, basically donate your computer processing power while it's idling for these research programs. And you can still do it today. But the thing is that you're not going to get money from it, and so there's no incentive to do it except that you're doing it for research. And so the next thing for me was to go and come across Bitcoin. Bitcoin was this idea that you had payments across the internet, and it was a good idea. And at the time, like a Bitcoin was only like 20 cents. That was at the time when I was thinking about, hey, I do it. It was like 10 to 20. Um, and I think this was at the time that that guy was using Bitcoin to pay for Domino's pizza, and people go, oh man, he shouldn't have did that. And I think that was the cool thing about it. And I think I had put the blockchain verifier on that you could just buy. You get the blockchain, so you could actually have a wallet, and it would be verifying blocks. So it'd take me a while to verify a block, but the thing was is that you could get like a GPU and you could verify it, and you could actually be somebody that would not just be verifying the block, but you would win the block, and then you'd get your cryptocurrency out of it. And so The difference was is that like with this the GPU or the CPU I had, it would have took a year or more that you might have a chance to hit it. And then, but if you had the GPU on it, you would probably hit one in like 2 weeks. And this is without being part of like a group of people. This is just yourself. And so, so this is my story basically coming down to where I could have did it, could have, should have, would have, and then it became $200. And then it was like the thing of like, okay, do I want to get into Bitcoin at $200? And the thing was is at the time when it was $200, uh, you had to have somebody that was one of those miners that was like, hey, I'll sell it to you for $200, no problem. And you had to go find them, and there was no onboarding at the time. There wasn't really any exchanges, and the only exchange that I was interested in putting money into was Mt. Gox. And the only way to get the money onto the exchange for Mt. Gox was like like okay, if you're paying $200, it would be like a $20 or whatever for Western Union to process that money to get it onto Mt. Gox. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then like a couple months later, I didn't do it, and then Mt. Gox goes up in smoke. And so that was like, oh man, then I'm like, I always kick myself, but I always look at the price and be like, oh man, um, I could have bought that, kicked myself for it, and then I look back at 20 cents. So now the thing is that it's like it's blowing up, right? And then we're at the point where we're at today. And the thing is that where we're at today is, a different market, a different thing from a couple years ago. And what I was getting with a $200 Bitcoin was that the onboarding was hard. And then the last bull run, it was easier, but your places that you could put your money onto, like Robinhood, that was like the forefront of like go on to Robinhood, you can get your this, and you could trade Bitcoin and whatnot. The thing was with that is that it was not in the ethos of you know it's kind of in the ethos of like or not in the concept of like you didn't have your wallet. It's not your wallet, not your crypto. And that was the big thing that a lot of people kind of lacked, not really the understanding, but they were comfortable leaving money on exchanges. Let's just say like SBF, he screwed us all over in the sense that uh, he was one of the biggest kind of scammers, but there were so many scammers out there. There's still going to be scammers out there. And so this is kind of where I'm at now, is that if you want to be kind of part of those scams, that is kind of the risk of it. But you're seeing like meme coins right now. Are meme coins a scam or is it a gamble? So if you're looking for a long-term investment, I always look at be part of the infrastructure and be part of the miner, be part of the storage network, be part of the person that's offering some kind of processing power for the internet. I feel like that always has a use case scenario on the backside. The other ones are you're going to look for the ones that are going to be holding the value store. And then there's going to be networks that are going to be the thing that are going to convey not really maybe the value, but the smart contracts, what is going to hold people, in line, or what's kind of the authority out there going to be that these networks are going to be running off of. What is what is the pipe in which holds it all together? And so those are the things I look at as for your research. Don't just go out there and be like, hey, where's the value in a monetary value. Look at like maybe sentimental value. Sentimental value is a big thing too, and that's where I'm getting out with like this Peppy coin. I've been dang, he's been popping off. But I had bought like 50 cents of the of Floki over here. Um, I bought 50 cents of Floki the other day because I was looking through my wallets, and I'm going, what do I still have? And I find Floki. I think I bought like 50 cents of his. I paid like a 23-cent gas fee or something like that. So I have like 75 cents into it, but I have something there and it's like at 63 cents now. So the value's there. Like I've got it back, but to get it out, yeah, whatever, it's just there to be there. And, but I look at it this way. If you're in the US and you're going to go just gamble at a Native American Indian casino and you're just going to put it into the one-armed bandit, put it into crypto, you might be surprised and, be able to take profits and still go to the casino and still get your kind of gambling fix there. But I feel like I have to actualize it and say, hey, it is gambling if you're doing it this way. Um, but if you're really into it and you believe in it, uh, uh, you know, get some storage and be part of be part of Saya, be part of the file store, storage coin. Be a node, be, like this, be a verifier. Some of those do cost a lot of money because just the infrastructure in itself, but it's that thing of like you are part of the infrastructure and you're not being part of the infrastructure. Or I look at it this way: the miners have made a lot of money because they were mining, and now kind of that infrastructure is kind of going away. But the storage part of the thing, and then people that need to be verifiers, that other things, those are the things that are going to needing there. And I look at it, I go in for a job that I've done, and I go into these data centers, and you're just thinking about this is just money upon money about daily. But the only thing is with the data center is because since they're been certified as this like secure area, corporations are putting their data there because there's a certain amount of like that for like medical records, archival deals. But like if you're just needed to store something that doesn't have that much value, you're gonna look at the like not the lowest common denominator, but like if you're able to store something on your friend's hard drive that is part of a storage network, but you don't know that you're actually, it's just all decentralized. It's all out there. You're going to keep it out there. And I feel like it's a commodity. It's going to be a commodity. And depending on where you want to put it, it's going to be out there. But there's these backup ideas to where like instead of using like Amazon storage solutions, there's other solutions that are a lot cheaper. And I feel like you should look into those solutions as a developer for the Web3 because just cost effective. But if it, on top of the cost effectiveness, is that if you're getting, you're putting into that Web3 thing, you could say for the ethos of like just being a Web3 person, that would be a good thing to do. But it's the thing of like we need more of an economy that happens. So I'm looking at that too. Is like where's the economy? Why do people are putting money in here? And I put it this way, and to finish it off here, is that while I'm looking at altcoins that are going to be start pumping, is because Bitcoin like this, and this is the thing that I seen last time, is that you had these people that had money and they put it into Bitcoin and they made a certain amount of money, and then they have these take profit areas. And when we hit back at these top levels again, there's going to be these take profits again. And what they're going to be doing is diversifying back into just stupid stuff sometimes. They're going to be doing gambles. They already made their money. They're just going to re-gamble it again if they're those traders like that. So look for those things and look for those things like that. But I also look at it, while these altcoins are they're going to be exploding, look at the Filecoin though too. There's this render, probably lost him somewhere, but I seen him popping up, and I looked at the end of that. That was popping off the other day. But the thing is, this render guy is in the last month going up, but he went up like this. The idea of having to use GPUs is something. You got GPUs that are, you're going to be buying a share of the GPU. You're going to be buying a share of like your storage. You're going to be buying a share of these things. And either you're going to be the person buying it with these cryptocurrencies or through a different way. But by buying it, you're kind of being a kind of investor in it. And then you're using that as your payment instead of another monetary value or of store. So kind of to round this off is what I'm saying is that you're going to be looking at these things popping off, and there's going to be the main one like that. Like I've been watching Bitcoin be up here every day, and then now it's these other ones. But I'm saying that there's going to be these profit takings, and there's going to be these people putting their money in this, reinvesting it. And sometimes if you're just reinvesting like $5 into Pepe or something, That's where I'm getting down to the risk per reward. Are you gambling or not gambling? If you can actualize that you are gambling and your research is towards that, and you're acting as a day trader, you're putting in your limits, you're putting in your your where you're going, oh crap, and you have those, the sells, and you have the buys, and you have the profit takes and whatever else, you're going to be doing all right. But if you're just buying and it goes down and you bought all in the first day, don't do that. Dollar cost average, do your research. But I want to, I want to do more videos. But today I feel like that's good, and I'll try to be more concise. This is just today to kind of give you an idea of where I come from, and not just yapping my yapping my flap about nothing. But that's where I kind of want to tell you that I'm going to be focusing more on the infrastructure, and the value that might get added to, because of the infrastructure, and then inadvertently that because of the use case, that you're going to have a solid kind of investment. That's where I'm hoping when I'm doing my research, and I'm hoping that I can help you in that journey too, to understand more about the back end of the things, and then more before more of the retail people come in, and they're like not knowing, and they're just buying in, and because you put yourself into an investment that's decent, that might have a future, and then you see that future, and then you realize, oh wow, this is where what I was going to realize out of it. Boom, take the profits. Because the thing is that there's always this pump and there's always a dump, but you don't want to be part of the dump, because you feel like in the dumps when that happens. And then now that, like, a year later, I've been seeing stuff that was like maybe $25 worth something. Now it's like worth $75, going, huh, well, huh, because I held on to it. But that's the other thing too. Don't don't put money in that you don't do. I'd rather see you put in 50 cents here and there, a couple dollars here and there. Realize that the value of some other people, what they're going to be putting in at $200, is chump change to them, and that might be the value of $2 to you. Put in $2. The thing is that you're going to get ate up on sometimes the gas fees and whatever else, but just know how much that is. Document your steps, because sometimes you do like a pancake swap and you don't know what the value really was at the time. Put that all in, get it into the spreadsheet. We'll talk about more about it later. But today I just wanted to kind of establish, saying, hey, there's certain stuff going on in the market, so that things are going up, certain things are going to be pumping, some of them are going to be dumping. Let's get to this together, and see you throughout this next bull market here. Peace out.